Google cut contractors from their Share My Salary Excel sheet online, and people are upset. This is a cute kitten named Saltine, entertaining you with cute cats, but let's talk about it. It's an article from the Register. I'll read it out loud. The Alphabet Workers Union claims the company blocked access to a shared spreadsheet in which it reckons hundreds of subcontracted workers had shared their salary details. Up to 50,000 of those staffers are now prevented from looking them up. The group, also known as the Google Union, said it filed an unfair labor practice charge with the National Labor Relations Board yesterday, naming both parent company Alphabet and the companies that hired the affected contractors, affiliates Accenture, Flex, and Crowd Staffing. I gotta come in and say, yes, Accenture is a contractor of Google, and Accenture contracts with a lot of companies. They do a lot of upcharging on the contracting, but let's keep going. The document, or so the AWU claims, is an internal workers created spreadsheet that detailed Alphabet and contractor-wide wages, and was created in 2021 so that folks in the jobs across the subcontractors of the company could compare their pay. Such workers are known as temporary, vendor, or contract staff. Step in to say this again. So contractors typically are paid more than full-time employees. The idea is that a contractor is paying their own health insurance and retirement benefits, so the company doesn't have to provide it. Now, in this situation, you have Google, you have the company that they're contracting with, like Accenture, and then you have the employees. So what typically happens in contracting is that the employee states the salary they want to get paid. Accenture upcharges that payment to Google. So Google is paying for more than just that employee. They're paying for the service from Accenture. So it is Accenture that decides that person's salary. It is not Google. According to the union, Alphabet withdrew access to its spreadsheet on July 11th, 2022 and July 14th, 2022. It noted that the workers employed directly by Alphabet still have access to their own employee-run Share My Salary spreadsheet. Cutting employees off from access to pay information or stopping them from discussing or disclosing their pay would be a violation of Executive Order 11246 and is what is protected under Sections 7 and 8 of the National Labor Relations Act, which would be the part the feds would be most interested in if the complaint is upheld. So I find it interesting that they think that they're sharing a salary from their subcontracted companies. This is Santiago. He's a little bit shy. But they're trying to share the salaries amongst many contractors. So you have people working at Accenture or other companies who don't actually work for Google. These people are not Google employees. They are Google subcontractors. So it's Accenture or these contracting companies that decide the salary. It is not Google. I'd be interested to see if this upheld in court, because Google has the right to get rid of the spreadsheet if they want to, especially if it's an internal document in the company. They are supporting it. These staffers could make their own spreadsheet on a different platform that is not owned by Google if they really want that transparency. But let's continue with the article. Laura Green, a worker with one of the contractors, Accenture Flex, commented in a statement released by the union, when we had access to shared spreadsheet, we could see how across companies, workers were being paid vastly different amounts for their work. This is powerful information that we have the right to know, and hope Alphabet does the right thing and returns access to all workers immediately. This is actually a problem between the subcontractors as well, like Accenture. I'm not sure if Accenture has a spreadsheet of their salaries, but if you have multiple subcontracting companies, there's no obligation whatsoever that these subcontractors should be paying the same rate or salary, and each one of these subcontractors has a different contract with Google and a different amount they upcharge for these employees. So I feel like they're taking up the problem with the wrong company. They shouldn't be putting this forward to Google, but rather their subcontracted companies. The article goes on. The claim has not yet appeared on the NLRB website, but should surface here when it does. According to Bloomberg, the spreadsheet was a Google sheet. See, it's on their own platform. Come on, guys. That was hosted on the company's intranet. It's an internal document in the company. We have asked the union for confirmation of this. Far be it from us suggest Excel Online or OneDrive might be a plan. You would want to keep that information off of the company drive. That just seems like common sense to me, but Sometimes people at these FANG companies have a high level of entitlement. It's kind of painful to say, but working at a FANG company is probably one of the best jobs that you can get in the entire country. You get great perks, you have more engaging work, you have amazing pay and stock incentives, plus work flexibility. Some of these companies allow you to work from anywhere. They have the unlimited PTO. I get it, unlimited PTO is a trap to make it to where you never take PTO, but it's still considered a huge benefit. There's a lot of people who are counting down the number of PTO days that they have available to take their vacation. So it is a privilege to have unlimited PTO. The article goes on. NLRB said earlier this week it plans to crack down on growing use of technology by bosses to monitor and measure staff, as it is feared this software may be used to kill off efforts to organize and unionize. The memo from NLRB General Counsel Jennifer Abruzzo noted actions taken by outfits like Amazon, whose monitoring systems scrutinize workers. Shocking news, tech companies are going to scrutinize your work. That is part of the job. Any job that you're going to take, no matter if it's in tech or healthcare or even working as a janitor, your work is going to be monitored and scrutinized. That's part of having a job. Generally speaking, the reason that companies don't want you to share your salary is because it means that every new hire is going to expect a higher and higher salary. Now, there is the nefarious idea that if employees share their salary, you can no longer exploit an underpaid employee. It's not the 1990s anymore. We have a lot of pay transparency in the world. In America, there's new legislation passed out in states like Washington or California where you now have to list the salary range for jobs that are posted online. And that can be really good. I mean, me as an applicant, I want to see that too. But I know me as an applicant, if I see a job listed from 70K to 120K, well, obviously I'm going to try to get the 120K. There is a culture in the job searching environment right now where most people are trying to exploit as much money from their employer as they can, and not everyone can get away with it. Also, as we go into a recession, companies are not going to be able to afford being exploited for higher salaries. So I would expect to see more conversations like this come up where disgruntled current or former employees are frustrated with not having access to pay information or feeling like they are underpaid. Moving forward through this recession, I would suspect a lot of people are going to be taking new jobs or in current jobs where they feel like they are underpaid. And unfortunately, because the economy is kind of trash right now, not a lot of people will be able to get that higher pay that they are looking for. If you want pay transparency, you can go onto Discord. I can't think of any other websites that would have lists of information about salary. You can even go ask people if you want. You'd be surprised how someone that's more senior than you in your career may openly tell you their salary compensation. It is a huge movement in the tech industry for people to share their salary. You can go onto CS Careers on Reddit and see plenty of people talking about salary offers or proposal, other people talking about the salaries that they make for that title. So this is not like being an accountant. The tech industry is not like these other jobs that have a lot less fervent vigor to share their salary. You go to an accountant, go to a meeting of accountants, you're not going to hear them talking about their offer proposal for a new job or talking about their salary or compensation. That's just not part of the culture, and it is part of the culture for tech. So like I said, if this is an internal document with Google on their intranet, they have all legal rights to get rid of that document, especially since it's not employees of Google who are sharing their pay transparency information or their salaries. It's the subcontractors of Google who are sharing their salary information. That has nothing to do with Google. So I would bet some money that this is not going to go anywhere, but I would suspect that more complaints like this are going to come up as we go through the recession. Some people are going to get laid off. It's bad news. That's what happens in business. And companies lay off employees a lot of the time to increase their earnings or reduce the budget. So moving forward, new hires will be considered more for their salary. How will it impact the budget, especially if they laid off a ton of high-paid mid-level career people. They bring a new mid-level career person on. Well, they're not going to overpay them more than the laid off people. And that is an expectation that I see a lot in the industry. A lot of developers or whoever it is that works in tech, they think that every year they have a job, their salary should go up. But realistically, every year that you have a job that you exceed expectations or at least match them to a considerable level, then okay, you can expect a salary increase. But if you're doing the same job for 4 or 5 years, there's not really a reasonable explanation why your salary should go up a significant amount each year. The company is not obligated to retain you by making your salary even higher and higher. Back before the recession, sure, that definitely happened. There was a shortage of developers in the industry. There was tons of money coming in. Companies were consistently making profit, so they could easily pay someone that's been with the company for 5 years $10K more a year. But now as we go into the recession, that's just a different aspect of the industry moving forward. I see a lot of people who are mid-level in their career, they're making a good amount of money on the job search right now, and they have very high salary expectations, especially those who are not located in super cities like Los Angeles, New York. I would say Chicago, but there's no real tech industry there that's significant to notice. But these major city areas do cost more than some smaller cities. And a lot of people that are in cities like Atlanta or Dallas, they may be on the job search right now applying to companies at the major cities. They expect their salary to go up a significant amount to compensate for the cost of living. But some cities like Dallas is only 16% cheaper than Los Angeles right now. A lot of these cities that would be considered smaller towns, everyone's flooding there since COVID. A lot of companies are flooding there because the business taxes in these bigger cities are not friendly to producing a profit. So people in these smaller cities that are looking for a new job, applying to jobs in bigger cities, well, I don't think they're going to see the salary increase that they want. And that is mostly due to the fall in the economy, the current recession that we are in. So I do have to say, I am on the anti-work Reddit. I do support people getting paid what they should get paid. I personally was interested, don't snitch on me, okay? But I personally was interested in going to tech because I knew that remote work was an opportunity, that people in tech got paid more, even if they weren't doing developer jobs. So I will admit I am one of those people who got into tech because I wanted better work-life balance and better compensation. And that's a lot of people in the industry, especially these entry-level engineers that are trying to jump into the industry, asking for $100,000 for their first job. And yeah, okay, some people are getting 120 grand for their first developer job. They're also getting those jobs in the middle of nowhere towns with boring companies that they're not really excited to work for. That is the give and take that a lot of people will see moving forward when they're looking for new jobs in the industry. There's going to be a lot more give and take and negotiation. If you don't have the mindset right now, you are on the job search, but you're still in the 2020 mindset of getting as much pay as you can, getting as much remote work as you can, or not even considering hybrid on-site roles, well, you are going to struggle more on the job search. How do I know? I talk to people all the time that have these unreasonable expectations, and they will follow up with me even after I had rejected them for the opportunity. I have to be the hard one to say, your salary expectations are too high. And usually those candidates say, oh, well, your company is cheap and doesn't want to pay enough. And they are going to go off and interview for more companies until they find a company that can match their compensation, or possibly they don't find that company and they have to reduce their expectations. But that's just my opinion as a tech recruiter in the industry. I thought this was an interesting complaint. Google does not have any obligation to share salary information by its contractors. And if you feel like your Accenture company is not paying you enough as you subcontract for Google, then go to another subcontracting company. Don't go to Google and say you need to pay me more, because Google doesn't get to decide that. That's how business works. If you are on the job search or looking for a new job, please subscribe to my channel. I'll have more updates moving forward on how the recession is going to affect your job search and other information about the tech industry that will affect both your job, your career, and the industry in general. Thanks for watching my channel, and I'll see you in the next one.